better to go for the pin.
Yeah, very much
Yeah.
so. Like, the threat of having DTs outside, because once you kill 2 like that, right now, Hero's pretty sure that Nightmare's not making other DTs. They're too expensive for him to make in this early game. But, looking at the game right now, I love Hero's position. He's done so well here. He's got, like, anti-stalker tech with a Void Ray and an Immortal. He's got detection. His expansion was faster, which means he has more probes. He has better scouting. Like, everything is going in his favor.
And he's also definitely set up to have a more sophisticated tech. He already has more sophisticated tech and unit composition now. It'll be even more sophisticated as the game moves on.
Everything is looking really, really nice. How does Nightmare actually fight back against this, I guess, is the question, right? Like, he's about to have Blink, which is good. He's making some Immortals. Okay, very good unit. But he doesn't really have any tools to hurt Hero. Like, is he going to try to go for a full frontal attack? I can't imagine that working right now.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine he would. I think if he does, then he's probably going to lose. But right now, it's really up to Nightmare to try to play catch-up, and I don't think Hero's going to let that happen. Hero's in a pretty good position so far here.
Yeah,
it looks like he might take his third base, which is actually probably fine.
Well, it looks like Nightmare wants to just do a full-on attack.
Yeah, but actually, I take that back. I didn't see the 4 gates coming in here with the War Prism, so that's going to be that might be the one play that Nightmare can do. Possibly if he gets good positioning and gets good blinks off.
Yeah, like Blink for Hero is not even halfway done, and that is a long, long upgrade, so that could be the case. Nightmare going to throw down a Nexus. That doesn't mean he's not going to attack, though. With these gates finishing and with the Prism coming up, it would almost be foolish for him to not at least go over and poke and see if anything can be done.
So the Oracle's now going to come in here again, tagging anything over there. I guess that works.
That's good intel.
Might have been wiser to tag the army there, but
might be.
He's going to go ahead and move out anyways. He's got that observer over there to spot. That's actually a pretty well-placed observer.
Yeah.
Hero never spotted that.
And he sees everything coming right now, so he knows that this is on the way. He's got a pretty strong army, but with Blink up, miraculous things can occur. Hero kind of zoning back and forth here. Looks like Nightmare wants to walk up into this third base area. Immediately an overcharge goes down, and he will have to back up.
He's got that Warp Prism continuing to warp in. Keep in mind, he is expanding with this, Nightmare is, so it's not like an all-in. Actually shaves off about 1 Stalker there. The Mothership core stays alive.
Yeah, he's definitely got to keep that up. Like, he has a slight disadvantage as far as the army supply goes, although his tech is a little bit better here. In fact, a Disruptor come up, that is a big deal.
Okay, now will this Disruptor all connect?
Oh, he messed it up!
But he
Oh
still
my
has the
God!
Disruptor alive. He needs to get that in the back somehow. He does manage to do that. Both the Stalkers are taken out. Stalkers now blinking forward. We did see another Disruptor ball coming out here. Not just yet, though.
Oh, that forward blink absolutely not working at all whatsoever. And Hero is going to be able to take this game tasteless.
Yeah. That is going to be an easy counter push here. In fact, he can even get this Warp Prism if he wants to. Doesn't look like he's that focused on it. Says you can warp it all you want, wherever you want. I'm going to come in here and take out this third base. And this should be a 1-0 here for Hero. I don't think it's even possible for Hero to screw this up.
No, that would be a very tough one indeed. He'd have to like lose his observers and have DTs wreck him or something. But like that battle just went so well from that forward blink from Nightmare was definitely off. That was not what he needed to do right there.
Does he not have an observer with us? Okay, he does. Excuse me. I was wondering where that was. So he's coming up here now. Oracle in position, and the DT is just not going to do anything. That's it. GG. Hero takes game 1.
All right. I liked the ideas that both players had here. The fact that Nightmare, though, lost both of the DTs to 1 tag is a little bit painful. When you know your opponent has an Oracle, you kind of want to split them up a little bit more just in case. But he didn't do any damage with that. Hero had really great anti-blink tech. And then the thing is, he needed to go out and see if he could do damage, but that blink forward, he was 100% going to lose there. He needed to utilize blink to shave things off, not blink forward into 3 Immortals and blink Stalkers.
I think he had an initial good engage. He might have gotten really excited by dodging that Disruptor ball that came out.
That's a good point.
That's one of those moments where you're like, oh my God, is it real?
Yeah.
And you jump in, and then it's like, no, it's not, because you can't attack like that.
Yeah.
You have to win off finesse, not off, coming in there and bludgeoning your opponent with all these units.
Yeah.
That's the strength of Blink. Usually, if you can blink on top of their army and kill them, you already won the game anyways.
Yeah, very true.
You don't get Blink to blink on top of stuff initially. You get Blink to blink away from stuff, outmaneuver them, keep your Stalkers alive while you take out theirs. take out some key units if they get onto the corners, but he blinked right on top of that, and that's like, okay.
With the Immortals
Force
there.
fields go down, you can't leave. Immortals are there, you made their job easier. So definitely a error in execution there from Nightmare, not so much on strategy.
Indeed. But you know what? This is a hard thing for him. 3 years of trying to get into the GSL Code S. Here he is, his very first time playing against one of the heroes of Protoss. The
hero.
I guess technically I'm right. He is one of the heroes of Protoss, but like he's one of the Protoss gods in StarCraft 2. He's one of the guys that you look up to, you copy, you learn from. So Nightmare is going to have to step it up somehow here.
I like Hero's shirt. Develop the potential.
Oh yeah, look at that.
That's a good shirt.
He should give it to Nightmare to wear, right?
Our next map's going to be on Overgrowth. This is a best of 3, guys. The winner goes to the winner's match, the loser's match. So nobody's going to advance or get eliminated just yet. We're just sort of setting the tone here. And our game is now loading up. You think Nightmare can take the Zartosis?
Based on what I just saw there, Hero is looking very sharp in his PvP, so I'd say no. I think it might be a 2-0.
All right, this is game number 2. Hero versus Nightmare, a fight to make it to the winner's match in day 2 of the GSL Codex. In the upper right, in the blue, Hero.
Cool voice, Tasteless.
Thank you. It's Robot Tasteless. That's when AI finally takes my job over. In the bottom left, in the red, he is Nightmare. Now, can we point out that the M is capitalized, so it might be mare like a horse?
You think his name is like Night Horse?
Nightmare.
Yeah. Shadow Equine.
Ooh, using the equestrian words here.
Yeah.
That means horse, guys. We're really smart.
Yeah, we're really
We read
smart.
a lot of books, guys.
Oh, my. By the way, Hero is kind of setting up a wall in here once again.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting he's going for that. Saw some people came in on a train. Big audience again today. We were a little bit like,
we were a little bit nervous that people wouldn't be down.
early?
Yeah, because we definitely don't. But we were very excited to see that a lot of people came down to the studio for our Saturday morning cast. Now, Artosis, Hero's got this probe going in an odd direction. It looks like he's going to be hiding a pylon.
Yeah.
Over here. This is one of these funny locations where it looks like that's kind of out in the open, but that's not where they ever check with the probe.
Yeah, that's not a location that you are likely to ever really scout.
I forget, you and I were talking about this like long ago. It was like over a decade ago, but just talking about like these weird spots where you can hide buildings where it's like kind of out in the open, but people always check the edges first, or like these little nooks.
Yeah.
And therefore, because they're normally pretty efficient at checking stuff, they never look there. Now, coming into the main here for Nightmare, it should be pretty obvious there's a pylon missing.
Yeah.
The question is, can he find it?
Yeah, as soon as you do this little wrap around there, you know that there is a pylon out on the map. As Nightmare, he's got to check the bottom right of the main because it could be there. And he does. It's not. So now he's really got to get to searching. So and the thing is, where it is, like, that is such an uncommon location. This might not. Okay, he is going to proxy something. It's going to be a robo.
Okay, cool. Well, this. Hold up. There's a depths coming. Now, you see how they're going to check the corners first, guys. Then they're going to go probably around to the bottom right. They're peeking up here. Oh, my God. Okay, he might. Oh,
that's a big deal. He's going to find it.
Boom!
Now, just because he found it, he can't, like, kill this, but he knows what's coming. He can't just walk over and get it because he started with a depth, so Stalkers will just kind of hold that off long enough that he can reinforce.
Okay, so the Stalkers now headed southbound here for Hero. They need to merge up with the proxy pylons and basically keep that covered, and then the pressure build here from Hero is going to be on. Looks like Hero's going to be able to catch these Adepts.
Yeah, but if he keeps chasing the Adepts, then he will not be able to get anything out of the Robo here. He actually just needs to finish walling his main and get over there, but with the pylon coming up, like those Adepts bought him too much time.
Okay, he's coming up here now, but is he going to catch all these Stalkers? Nicely done. Oh, you know what? I actually, for a second, thought that was Hero's second pylon somehow making. That's actually what I thought was going on. I'm like, how did he get that up? I'll check on that later. All right, so that's actually Nightmare's pylon. However, Hero's not done yet. Hero's going to try to jump forward here. And
yeah,
we don't.
Good force field, though.
Nice.
That's going to allow him to actually hold on against this a lot better as just slightly more use. Ooh, bad placement there by Nightmare, though. He's really got to pay attention at this point. But there's Micro actually all over the map right now.
Okay, he could come in here, get the Stalker, and then try to take out the Sentry. Looks like he's going to back up. Probably a good bet to try to play it safe.
Yeah, the Stalker's going to come back and kind of flank these incoming Adepts. Right now, Nightmare just trying to join up his entire army so that he can hold on.
Yep, actually now hitting this one Adept, it does manage to get away. Sentry there in the middle. Looks like Hero does not opt to try to attack into that. We have an Immortal almost out, so this rush was stifled pretty quickly there by Nightmare because he got that pylon. There's a chance this game would have already been over otherwise.
Yeah, very true. Like, if you don't actually find this, you can just straight up die from it. And Nightmare already has an Immortal out, so if he stays up his ramp, he doesn't get broken. But the thing is, you can do a very strong contain against Nightmare, so Nightmare might, like, he doesn't want to get stuck up his ramp too long is what I'm trying to say.
And it looks like Hero's also gearing up to do this, so I think he just got forced up the ramp no matter what.
Yeah. For now, at least, force field's really powerful around an area like this. So both of them going to have to go, well, at least Nightmare has to go into a Prism.
And he's already doing that. He's got a Prism on the way here. Now, he's got to be careful because if he starts to shuttle units outside of his base, that might trigger Hero to actually just run up the ramp and try to do damage that way. Oh, whoa.
Ooh.
He's actually going to use this as a spotter.
Yeah, if you get too close to the edge, we'll see a force field wall just trap units in there. But now with the Prism out, this becomes super micro-based. The two Immortals being picked up as expected.
Okay, now he sees it, though.
Whoa.
Odd moment there.
There's so much play and counterplay going on right now. Now, Nightmare is going to fly out and just offload the Immortals? Like, I feel like he should just be going for a counter with it.
I'm surprised he actually showed the Immortals.
Yeah,
that was odd.
Two Immortals in a Prism, if you don't have a Stargate or Blink, you're just not going to be able to deal with that. So if he goes across the map, that almost forces Hero to go home. Okay. But he's so preoccupied with his ramp.
I think he's fishing him off of the ramp here. Now, if he can actually manage to get this War Prism, that'd be good. But good maneuvering here by Nightmare. He actually did it. And notice he's making a beeline, it looks like, to the north here. I thought for a second he might try to go for the Gateway and Robo over there.
Yeah.
But if he could stop that. Now, conversely, we have Hero actually headed towards the main here. And he's going to do what I think Nightmare was really eager to do to Hero here. He can actually start warping in. And in fact, this isn't even entirely pylon surrounded, so he can actually come up here. Dude, he could actually get a, if he wanted to make a sentry and block off the ramp, he could do that as well.
Ooh, almost gets that. Yeah, this is like kind of crazy. He saw, by the way, the tech, which is the support bay. So clearly we have Nightmare going into Disruptors, which makes a lot of sense. His expansion is so late that he needs something quite literally explosive like the Disruptor to try to get something done here. He knows that Hero can't possibly have Blink yet. The odds of Hero having gone into an expansion in a Stargate, that just doesn't even really make sense. So Disruptor is a great tech choice.
It's pretty impressive, too, from Hero, considering how weird this game's been. He's handled it about as well as he possibly could have. Nightmare's been doing a good job scouting. He's been doing a good job reacting. But I got to say, kudos to Hero because he's really on top of this game. You don't normally see a game where there's been two proxied structures that are then taken out, including one where a pylon was killed off.
Yeah.
And the other player is still basically fine.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because not only is he fine, I would say he's like basically ahead, right? He's had that expansion for so long. He's actually up 7 probes, which is a pretty big deal. But the Disruptor tech is what Nightmare is looking at to kind of equalize this game.
Okay. We have Stalkers moving around here in the main of Hero. He's hoping if he can catch the Warp Prism, if it were to come up there, he could then delay it in that sense. Probe count right now is 39 to 31 here with Nightmare in the deficit. So Hero is definitely doing a good job, not just with the handling, but with unit comp as well as economics.
Yeah, but this army coming out from Nightmare, it does have the potential to get something done. Kind of pre-scouting right now with this singular Adept, walking around. He kills a probe, that's cool. But oh my god! Oh, he didn't target it.
Oh, that's
if
crazy.
He can just kill that Prism.
I don't even know where that's supposed to go right now.
Yeah, it's pretty stuck.
That's it. Okay, well, not the end of the world, but definitely annoying, especially considering he, like you were saying, Artosis, he wants to get that Disruptor tech up. I mean, now is War Prism. It's either going to be remade or not remade for the next time being here, and he can't be offensive unless that is remade. So I guess really a bit of a tempo advantage now for Nightmare.
Yeah, the one thing that's good, though, is that Hero slowed him down from the actual attack. The attack would have already hit, but now he's had time for Blink to finish. And with Blink, you can be a little bit tricky. Look, he's trying to buy more time. 3 overcharges immediately pushing back Nightmare. But see this Blink? Here we go. He can dodge this 1 Disruptor hit.
Okay, he's coming in. Okay. All right, not bad.
Yeah, still some decent hits there.
Disruptor's still back there, ready to check out another Disruptor ball. Hero does have a Disruptor of his own. It looks like that's moving out. No!
Ooh.
Nice. Shaves off 2 units there at the very corner.
Yeah, and he's forced Nightmare back.
Yeah.
Like, a decent hold. I mean, it was really good when Nightmare got the Prism, but it did slow him down. And, I mean, that shows just how crazy tight these games can be as upgrades are finishing in the early game.
More Disruptors now coming out. So it's going to be Stalker Disruptor versus Stalker Disruptor. This will, in this case, definitely come down to who can control better. You can be way ahead in Stalker Disruptor and screw it up and lose because you just didn't get the right connections. You didn't blink in the right spot.
We sometimes talk about how hard it is or isn't to finish people. When you're on Stalker Disruptor, you're very right, Taste. You can be down like 30 army supply and still win that game.
You can still win.
Yeah. You get a couple good Disruptor hits, and that is that. And, well, the thing is, it's not that, because then more Disruptors pop out for your opponent, then he can get the Disruptor hits. So it's so much about the micro, the positioning, watching where your opponent's army is. Who gets that first Disruptor shot off?
Yeah. So we got 4 Disruptors here in the army for Nightmare. Both players need to be very careful, and we actually have some Adepts being loaded up over here. Now, he might be able to put some pressure onto the main for the time being. Speaking of which, main almost mined out with both these guys attempting to take their 3rd bases.
Yeah, the second Robo coming up for Hero, so he really wants to focus on this Disruptor production. And, you know, things can get a little bit crazy in the later game with Disruptors. Like, you might see them spread out random Disruptors around the map by themselves, ready to flank, ready to catch. Oh my God.
Well, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bruised. Whoa, hold on, though. Hero coming out.
Whoa!
That could have been really bad.
Yeah. Hit yourself with a Disruptor. That's no good. Oh, that's a close one.
Now, ideally in Disruptor versus Disruptor, you can get your Disruptor to hit their Disruptor before their Disruptor hits your Disruptor, and then you're allowed to pick and choose what you want to get from there. So Nightmare has got a good position. He hasn't quite been able to advance on this. And you basically want to sync out the Disruptor balls so that they're coming out incrementally.
Yeah.
So that there really is no way that they can get over to that area. Nice job there by Hero.
Yeah, very good job with the Blink, just barely picking off that Disruptor before it kills his own.
By the way, it is important to note, I mean, a lot of this will come down to experience. This is very hard to do in a live match like this. And so far, so good to hear. Oh!
Ooh, a Blink forward right there, trying to pick off some of these Disruptors, but great force fields along with those Immortals will do a fantastic job. A Disruption Ball coming out there by Nightmare as well, doing some damage.
And more Warpins here. Defeated Nightmare going to have to back up just a little bit here. Overall supplies, it's 126 to 103 with Hero in the lead. So after all that exchanging is said and done, it does appear that Hero does have a superior army.
Yeah, but they have similar economies. The one thing I guess that I'm afraid about here is the double Disruptor production. Like, Hero can be a little bit more sloppy with these. He can spread them out a bit more, whereas Nightmare needs to really get on it with these hits. But their armies are actually passing right now as they're both going for each other's 3rd bases, and Nightmare turning around.
Okay, he's coming in here right now. Now, this is a good positioning for Hero because he's going to be able to hold this down. The probes have been evacuated. I think essentially Nightmare just loses this base. In fact, he can't even contest this, and he's going to get away. This is horrible right now for Nightmare.
Yeah, and the fact that he turned around, like if he had kept going, he kills the 3rd base of Hero 100%, but it might turn into a base trade. So, like, the thing is, what he did is instead of take the risk of a base trade, is he said, okay, you get to be ahead, but the game isn't ending right now. And I don't know if that's a good choice for a rookie against a champion.
You know what's funny is we never really talked about this, but Immortal Sentry Disruptor, not a nimble army Artosis. Like, to move around the map, it's not actually that fast. You get in a good position, and you can definitely, like, have a fight, throw some Disruptors out there, and hold your ground. But if you get outmaneuvered and they're in a spot that you can't really fight from, you're in trouble. For instance, here, oh my gosh.
Yeah, and what you were saying about the Immortal and Sentry there really shows itself. Oh, that was a great hit, though.
How many was that? Was that 4?
It was 3 or 4.
Wow.
Oh.
All right.
Hero wasn't microing that one. Okay, more Disruptor shots going off on both sides. But Hero's Stalker count is so high at this point, he can almost just kill this whole army.
Okay. Did not get any of those disruptors. That was kind of funny. He's like, I'll take out all the shields on them.
Yeah.
However, it looks like Hero is just going to continue to pursue this.
Oh, the flank is real! Okay, gets some pretty good damage there, but loses both of them in the meantime. He's going to split up his Stalkers and Disruptors now.
Yeah, Disruptor's headed northbound. He's going to try to intercept. Now, this could sandwich this so hard that Nightmare will not be in the game anymore. Here we go.
This could be a game-ending move.
Well, wait, you got to use him.
God.
You got to use him. Oh.
He sends off so many Disruption Balls right there. Great move by Hero, making this so tough for Nightmare, and he just has way too many at the moment.
Okay, and he's going to end up chasing him into his main. We may see GG here. I think we have Nightmare essentially digesting his loss.
He does kill off all of the Disruptors, but way too much for Hero.
Yeah.
Really showing his class and his form here against the rookie Nightmare, who, I mean, I don't think Nightmare played terribly at all.
No. You know what? It was not a bad first Code S series for him.
Yeah.
We'll see if that allows him to calm down. I know he lost, obviously. It's not great results, but maybe he'll feel a little bit more comfortable. Maybe that'll feed into anxiety and distress, and he won't do as well in the losers match. We're going to have to see. But Hero, deservedly so, is moving on to the winners match, and is one best-of-3 victory away from going on to the round of 16.
Yeah, that next one, though, will be against a titan of Code S, whether it be Gumiho or Maru. So definitely the hardest match is still to come for Hero.
That's right. Well, guys, we're going to go to a short break. When we come back, a TBT for our second best-of-3 in tonight's, no, not tonight, excuse me, it's actually the day here, in today's GSL Code S. Stay tuned.
마음이 가는 대로 즐겁고 신나게 쓰자. 캠퍼스 시리즈.
그래서 오늘 두 분이 경쟁을 하는 거예요.
부산 전체를 돌아다니면서 저희가 7개의 시청자 여러분들 다 뿌리도록 하겠습니다. 4번이요.
운동장.
도쿄, 넌 내 거야. 짠! 4번.
네?
오케이!
정답입니다.
아, 예! 운도 좋아, 운도. 화물 뵙겠다.
정답입니다.
가자.
저희 입수하러 갈게요, 저희는. BJ들의 치열한 전투 대경기 어마어마하죠? 자, 대진표 한번 저희가 정리하면서 떨어지잖아요.
딱입니다.
올해의 최고의 또 대상을 받았어요.
그렇죠.
일단은 두 팀으로 나눴어요.
그린 형님한테 게임을 줘본 적이 없습니다.
아, 잘합니다, 로이조.
와, 진짜 잘하는데.
내가 처음부터 좀 있을 수
그러니까요.
있거든요.
최선의 방어는 공격이다. 핫한 그런 메타만 딱 사용하고 있는 모습이 보이죠.
그리고
엄청나게 이렇게 해서
본선 안내를 해드려야 돼요. 세 글자 대 서윤.
둘이서 쓸 수 있어. 귀엽지 않아요? 여러분? 오. 된다. 안녕. 붕어빵 사세요. 그거를 한번 볼까? 지금 나 혼자 신난 거니 혹시? 이거 귀엽다. 찍어도 되나? 진짜 예쁘다 근데.
시도와의 결선 무대를 시작하겠습니다.
그런 의미를 담은 그 댄스 퍼포먼스
이 무대를 마음껏 즐기시는 모습을
계속 춤추셨으면 좋겠어요. 꼭.
1등은요 축하합니다. 2SC
축하드립니다.
와우.
부산지도 아닙니까 이거?
와, 7군데를 다 돌 거예요. 1번부터 7번까지.
네.
취득을 해서 시청자분들한테 나눠줄 수 있어요.
아 자갈시장 도쿄. 도착했어요 자갈시장. 오우. 자 나오세요. 자 가면서 나오시고 2시간. 야 이겼다. 이번에 이겼어. 콜 한번 거서. 바깥으로 나가야 될 것 같은데 일단. 클래스 있다면 4번. 아 좋아요. 타이페이죠 타이페이. 광안리. 괌이다. 괌. 야 이건 크다. 부산 분들 위주로 좀 드리면 될 것 같아요 내장. 오.
그런데 스노우의 밤에는 가장 좋은 기능 중에 하나가 실시간으로 적용되는 아이템. 맞디? 스노우의 기능이 어마무시하죠 진짜로? 원반입니다. 빵 로모띠. 저한테 채팅으로 본.
Did that go out? Did that cough go out?
Little bit.
Bow, bow. That's a great way to open the show. Guys, what's up? Welcome to the GSL Code S. We just saw a very convincing victory there by Hero against his former trainee friend, the guy that would help him to win tournaments like this one. Nightmare is not eliminated, but I don't think his chances are very good.
No, probably not. He definitely made some errors in judgment that in practice he probably doesn't make very often. But you know what? Your first Code S, that's a tough one indeed. He has not been killing it in other tournaments either.
You make it to one Code S, you are still a Code S player for life.
That's right. You made it into a Code S. That is the most impressive thing in the world.
You're in that pantheon of nerd gods.
Yeah. It's better than being an astronaut or a doctor or a lawyer.
That's right.
You're a Code S player.
There have been more people in outer space than there have been people in Code S, right? Is that true?
I don't know if that's true.
I base that on
possibly.
nothing, but that sounds probably right to me, because people have been going into outer space before StarCraft was made.
What, the 60s we had people in space, maybe even the 50s, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know when the first people were sent up from Russia or something, but hey, this is Code S, and we've only been around for like 6 years, and this is the most impressive thing.
This is the most impressive thing.
Yeah.
So, good luck to Nightmare in his future games. We're still here tonight.
There have been more presidents than people in Code S. I'm like, no, I know that's not true.
Well, we are going to go to this next match. It's a TVT with two veterans. Gumiho, it feels weird to say, but I guess you could say a little bit in the shadow compared to somebody like Maru, who's Maru's a household name if you follow any StarCraft 2.
He really is, but last year in individual leagues, he had a hard time. He crushed it in Pro League, then kind of failed in GSL, SSL, all that stuff. Whereas Gumiho, definitely, this guy has been around since the very beginning. This was the original person who qualified for GSL as random, eventually chose Terran, and here he is still to this day playing very well. And I felt like last year, he was he kind of led Team MVP, which was his team last year. Like he was kind of the big heavy hitter that was doing better and better and better, and he's coming out of the shadows right now. He's in very good shape at the moment.
Okay, we're going to start this off on the map Echo, then Overgrowth, and if we do go to a game number 3, it will be on Daybreak. Both these guys, very action-packed games from them. They're players who can juggle, and juggle a lot. So how will this look between these two? Maru tends to have more calculated, multi-pronged attacks, whereas Gumiho more characteristic with his style is sometimes attacking at so many places. He's not even really microing at all of them, but his opponent certainly isn't able to keep up with him as well. So what happens when you put these two players together? I don't know, but I would expect it to be quite awesome.
There's going to be fireworks for sure. Is there a chance that Gumiho will go for mech? Definitely one of the leading Terrans in mech for the last few years, so anything is possible here.
We are moments away from starting this game. A lot of people, by the way, guys, do not know that we've made this schedule adjustment, and as far as we know, at least for the foreseeable future, this is a permanent one. So tell your friends to join us. This is game number 1 between these two. Maru versus Gumiho in the GSL Codex. In the bottom right, in the blue.
Jin Green Wings, Maru.
Why do yeah,
Great job, Caseless.
That's both of us. It's only me if it sounds good. we just drag the A out. Maru. In the upper left, in the red.
Gumiho.
So, here we are, TVT time. Very interested to see what types of openers that they will go for. We see some early Reaper into Cyclone type pressure. That was very popular recently. Definitely one style that Innovation has shown a ridiculous power with.
Innovation looking so good these days.
Yeah.
You know, one thing
unquestionably the best Terran.
With StarCraft 2, unlike Brood Wars, there are so many different iterations of the game out now. And what's fun about that is to see who stays, who survives, and who gets phased out with each patch, with each expansion.
That is interesting, and like some players are constants. Like when Terran is at its weakest, Maru still performs.
Yeah, he's still fine.
Last year was like kind of rough for him. Just
TY
overall,
was another example.
Yeah,
he was just like, no, I'm still here.
Yeah, and we've had players like that over the years, but hopefully we can see Maru really put on some fireworks this year, man. Like he definitely, stylistically speaking, one of the most fun players that you can watch. There isn't really a more aggressive bio user than Maru out there.
All right, we have the factors coming down. Right now, both the builds are mirrored. So we will see if there is going to be a deviation at any point in time. Every nerd on the internet right now is like, this is the build. This is the build I'm going to do now. Now we know. They're both doing the same thing.
Yeah.
They're ripping pages out of their TVT build order notebooks, throwing it in the fireplace. Like, whoa, man, hold on. They might do different stuff in game 2 and 3.
Okay, well.
You ever have that when, especially the early days when you were playing StarCraft, where like you've been playing a certain way and then you just finally get a replay or see a VOD of something that's like so different you like didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't understand the world anymore.
Certainly.
Like you have just shattered my reality. Is this what I was supposed to be doing?
There's definitely been times
this,
like that, Taste.
This build is you know pretty standard.
Yeah, no, I mean
I wouldn't call it like a milquetoast build, but I mean it's a very safe, good build.
Yeah, Reaper expand into a Cyclone and Starport, like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going crazy about, you know, how wild and out there this is. And, I mean, that it kind of tells you that anyways with the fact that they're both doing exactly the same thing. A slight variation here with Maru getting a Widow Mine before that Tech Lab, though.
And the Cyclone may actually begin to edge out here. Widow Mine a little bit later here, coming out now.
Yeah, and I mean, right now, as far as standard goes, like just Marine tank medevac is very, very strong. Tanks are just ridiculously beefy at the moment. But early game, a lot of times you see a mini Viking War come out.
Yeah.
Where it's like you really want that air dominance.
How funny, it actually got in. Everything was set up so that wouldn't happen, but he got in anyways.
Yeah, and so did that one.
And same here. They're perfect. So they actually have complete and total knowledge, maybe minus how many Widow Mines are out, what each other are doing.
Mm-hmm. And they see that it's very, very similar what we have going on at the moment. But the Raven being made for Gumiho, and that's not too surprising. Like, the auto turrets are very good right now. Point defense drone can be useful, especially in Viking versus Viking fights as well. Third command center going up for Gumiho. whereas Maru just adding on some more barracks.
And right now it looks like Gumiho is getting stim for the time being. So they're both setting up. You know, when you're in a mirror matchup like this and you both did very safe, I would almost say generic expand builds, you're kind of getting everything to keep you safe and alive. Usually it's a little bit before you can attack each other.
Yeah.
Defender's advantage, especially in TVT, becomes a huge reality.
Yeah, a tank in siege mode is a scary thing indeed. To try to break through that, yeah, a defender's advantage has always been very strong for siege tanks, and TVT maybe is the ultimate position of that, and that's why it is such a positional matchup. That's why you see people running around trying to get better angles, lining up their siege tanks, making these areas that your opponent can't even walk into.
Right. Also, the positioning here is very important. You notice how they've dispersed certain units into the main to counter drops. Even though the probability of either player dropping each other just based off the nature of these two builds is very low, you got to be safe. So that's something else you guys should probably take note of if you are trying to learn this matchup, what units they're putting where. Scans come down here. Confirmation of the 3rd command center is going to go to Maru. He sees that Gumiho's getting that. And we have a CC, right, for...
Maru never made his 3rd CC.
He never made his 3rd CC, okay.
Yeah, he just went for kind of like earlier barracks editions, so he's going to have to get out on the map a little bit. And even if he's just kind of slowing down the landing of that command center, that can be something that helps him catch up. Now, notice this SCV actually went up to make that command center for Maru on location, because he just has a bigger army at the moment.
Yeah.
Because he got those earlier barracks.
And we'll see how this actually pans out in a game like this, because you got to keep in mind, it should be possible if Maru is powered up enough to try to drive back Gumiho's expansion, unless Gumiho has a really good setup. But it's also possible Gumiho could try to sneak around and get that SCV while it's making. Anyways, we have that push now coming out here from Maru.
Yeah, and while he's pushing out, that Viking patrolling is really smart because Gumiho is sending up a Raven to harass. And that's very scary indeed. In fact, even a missile turret coming up. Great timing there by Maru.
Oh! Big intercept. And this Raven's in trouble!
Wow, he loses an almost full energy Raven right there for free. That's a great harassment tool in TVT, but unable to do anything with it is Gumiho.
Oh, is he just going to, I was going to say, is he just going to go for it? All right, Stimming coming forward now. Perhaps a little bit of an overextension there from Gumiho, thinning out that Marine number. However, the command center remains up. Maru trying to tear down these rocks. Scans, does see movement over here towards the left side of the map, now rotating over here to the north.
All right, moving around as best he can. He does have this high ground advantage, and you see Gumiho spending a lot of scans. That's because he did get this faster command center, and he has to hold on at the moment. He's slightly down as far as the army goes, but it's not really that much with the long rally distance.
Scans coming down again. It does seem that Gumiho is very cognizant of the threat of a drop up here onto the high ground. Viking over here to drive back some of that. Oh, overextension. One Viking does go down. Nice job there by Gumiho.
Ooh, a nice siege tank shot as well onto Maru's Marines, and he's loading up. This is a huge drop that's coming in right now, but a bunch of Marines in the way. He might have to turn around. Yeah,
that was so insane. I almost choked on my water.
Yeah.
Because he's about to land literally right on top of a sensor tower.
Oh, man, he's reset up now on this high ground. Gumiho's stimming up with all of his Marines trying to bust through, but the siege tank hits are way too strong, and Gumiho loses a ton of supply.
Note, he does have range now on the high ground. Was that sensor tower taken out? Yeah, it was. So that might be an ample moment to try to drop on there, and it looks like he will be setting up for a massive drop over at that expansion. Yeah, this is definitely what he's trying to set up for.
Maru really setting up quite a siege line indeed.
Oh, but the siege tanks are unsieged.
Yeah, that's a big deal. He pushes Gumiho far back. Gumiho going to have to get into an even more defensive position. In the meantime, Maru does have that 3rd command center up, so he is really getting his economy on track, just barely behind Gumiho's.
So in this position, as you can see, you can get that refinery. That's actually a pretty big deal in TVT because you need that gas, obviously, for medevacs and tanks. So slowing that down is huge. Now, is this an overextension? Marines now coming up, one tank at siege with the rest of the Marines coming in the siege tank line.
Okay, the Marines spread there for Gumiho, trying to take off as much as he can. He loses 19 SCVs, though. That is a huge deal. Will clear this out, but that puts Maru in a definite lead in this game.
Yeah, for sure. Looks like he now wants to try to get a containment over here. I think this might be too much, though. I think Maru is actually pushing the limits of what he's capable of doing with an army of this size.
Yeah, he might want to just continue to maneuver around, keep Gumiho pinned in a little bit. But make sure, because Gumiho has to make a move soon, whether that's busting through this group of army or trying to go around with medevacs. So that's really what Maru has to look out for.
All right, well, Gumiho now with a pretty threatening army. Maru's shifting around to try to get good positions to slow down the movement here. In fact, he's going to try to go around and reset up this position over here. No, he's
going in for
actually
a
going to go
big
for it,
move.
man.
A huge
he's
stem
crazy.
forward. Oh, my God.
Yeah, I was going to say when I saw that happening, I'm like, what is he doing, man?
Yeah, that was a little bit crazy.
Definitely biting off more than he could chew there. The Vikings looking, they're looking for the medevacs, and the medevacs have gone around.
What a huge move by Maru here, going around those Vikings. And now Gumiho in a lot of trouble. Quite a few tanks sieging up. Moves forward with this bio, but he has to back up against those tanks of Gumiho.
Okay, so this is an odd point because it's going to be difficult for our Gumiho to rally units from here. They're going to be almost in tank range.
All right, he does have that little sight advantage, so moving up with the Vikings, spotting those siege tanks that are out of range and shelling them down, so he is cleaning it.
Yeah, but he's already under the next phase. He's going to drop the expansion, I think, at the center left.
Maru's just going everywhere at this point. He's got Gumiho in such a hard position.
Maru is Batman right now. This is, you know when
Why is he Batman right now?
You know when those villains are trying to fight Batman, they're like, "Where are you?" And then like Batman comes in, like beats him up, and then there's like one guy left, and he's scared.
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
He's Bat Maru is actually what he is.
And you're the Joker.
He's completely dominating Gumiho. Did we drop the observer mouse down there? Is that what we just lost?
Yeah.
All right, well,
that's fine.
It's gone.
It's gone forever.
All right, we're playing blind, guys. So, really, Gumiho is bleeding, and he needs to patch up these wounds or he will not be alive in this game for much longer. The counterattack is not a bad idea, but it seems like this is a little bit too late. This is something that could have worked had he been able to outmaneuver Maru, but Maru was, like, leaning on him so hard.
Yeah, no, he has to make a move like this and figure out something that he can get done. But there just isn't much anything. Maru has so much at this point, a big flank with those Marines, and this is going to be game.
That's going to be GG. Nicely done. Maru takes game number 1.
All right. Super strong showing by Maru there.
Bat Maru.
He really powed and zopped him, man, right there.
Yeah. Zing, pow, whoop.
And it seemed like Gumiho was almost a minor villain, you know?
You know what?
This was like Scarecrow or something. It didn't even seem that hard for Maru.
No, it wasn't even Scarecrow. This was like Harley Quinn or something. It wasn't even the Joker.
Well,
that was
Mr. J going to have to come in and help him out in this next one because
Maru
looked pretty fierce in there. Like, all Gumiho did was get a slightly faster command center, and Maru was barely up in units, but utilized the high ground, utilized the terrain there, and eventually peeled Gumiho apart.
Yeah, it was very impressive. And, you know, it's funny because they started out with the same build. They were kind of doing the same thing, and then Maru comes out and is everywhere. Tactically, he is truly a genius at Terran vs. Terran.
Yeah, I would say at any matchup, like his spread of units, his speed in multitasking, and the killer instinct with which he strikes is something very few players can deal with.
Well, let's see what happens now.
Did that armband say Barbie?
What? I didn't see that. We might get a shot of that later. This is game number 2, Maru versus Gumiho. In the bottom left, in the blue.
Bat Green Wings, Maru.
It's Bat Maru.
Bat Maru.
Swear to me. Where is she? Where? The people of Gotham need me.
In the upper right, in the red.
Gumiho.
I didn't actually see the new Batman. Or what, versus Superman? I heard it was bad, but I heard it was like the editing was bad or something.
Well, I would say the whole thing was pretty terrible, to be honest.
You actually saw it?
Honestly, yeah, no, I did see it. And they really took some liberties with reasons that Batman would want to kill Superman. Like, it went from nothing to I have to kill him in about 1 second. And it was just, oh, man. Spoiler alert.
Yeah,
if you
don't like spoilers,
Superman.
don't listen to that last thing Artosis said.
But yeah, I thought it was a pretty awful movie. Then out of nowhere at the end, they're like, "Oh, look, it's the other superheroes from DC Universe." I'm like, "What?" When did that happen?
I thought they did a good job in the what was it? Christian Bale. I don't know why I slang for the Christian Bale.
He's fantastic.
But they did a good job even in that first movie where you didn't really realize it was a scarecrow until the end.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I thought that was a nice touch.
Yeah. I really like stuff like that.
Yeah. Where it's like we didn't have to just, shove it down people's throats.
Mm-hmm.
So you see, we get a younger crowd out here when it's Saturday.
Well, that's they
Leenock.
are school.
What's
Leenock doing here? What does it mean?
And he's doing that thing where he's just on camera trying to act like he's fine with being on camera.
There's only Terrans and Protoss here. What is he doing here? Oh, and Choya's with him.
Yeah, Choya.
What's going on, guys? Get to the bottom of this, detectives of the internet.
We got the Reaper now coming out, for both of them. Note the scouting patterns are different. Maru erring on the side of caution, checking the bottom side of the map, whereas Gumiho is headed southbound.
It's pretty interesting that this game, instead of the faster expansions, they're both instead going for the quicker Cyclones. And part of this does have to do with there's no ramp leading up into your natural expansion. So you can, that makes it like easier. If you have the ramp leading up, it's much easier to hold on against early aggression, of course, because you're attacking up a hill into things you can't see.
Nerds are writing this down in their build order notebooks. They might have already messed up and ripped out the pages in the last one, not understanding. Man. No, it's okay. This is the one you want to do on this map.
Different builds.
They've got to go to
maps.
the bathroom so bad, but they can't because they need to record this all perfectly because they got a ladder after this.
Oh, that's always the toughest. Is when you have to pee, but good StarCraft is on.
Have you ever had it where you queue up another game of StarCraft even though you had to pee?
Yeah.
And you're like,
why did I do that?
Like a minute in there, you're like, why did I do that?
And then I rush sometimes, but then I lose and I'm mad, so I queue up another one. And I'm like, this is like a really bad cycle I have myself in right now.
No, I've done it. I think a lot of people end up doing
that. Whoa! Nice grenade hit there by Gumiho's.
That one Reaper is bruising up. He can actually snowball this.
Yeah.
Oh, Maru. Maru, why are you so good at this game?
Yeah, he really is.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Don't try this at home, kids.
And now even a Hellion is here. He is not done. Oh, that was actually really smart trying to make a wall right there while he buys a little bit of extra time.
This one Reaper's going to try to take out the Cyclone.
Oh, God.
We need backup.
Okay, well, that will definitely push it all back.
That was an overextension there.
Yeah, maybe a little bit too far. But he's trying to get whatever he can get done with this because these units after the early game are not going to be as useful. But that was really, really good micro there by Maru. The last time I saw him do that, because that's actually Innovation's opener, the 2 Reaper, 1 Cyclone and attack. Like, that's something that Innovation does a hell of a lot and has now for quite some time. And Maru has definitely gotten a lot better with that build, utilizing his great micro that he's known for.
That was also a great lesson in, well, how good are Reaper mines against a Cyclone? We really got to see not really that good at all. So we have the Raven coming out now. And this is kind of odd because he's going to get in here, but he should be pinned pretty easily.
Yeah, he's in a little bit of trouble with that Raven, taking quite a bit of damage. The Marine flank coming in. Ouch. All right, so at least Gumiho gets the Raven.
Kind of questionable, that Raven play.
Well, we don't have to worry about it anymore, Tasteless. Said never more. That Raven is gone forever.
This is that moment where we think Batman's in trouble. Batman's in trouble because he got captured.
Well, it's not fun if he's not ever in
trouble.
trouble.
Here's the thing is, if Gumiho's the villain, he keeps telling Batmaru about his evil plans. he keeps saying, I'm going to take your mask off and find out who you are, but he just hasn't done it yet. Yeah. And eventually Batmaru is going to skyhook out of this into the round of 16.
Possibly the case. Oh, another harassment coming down here. Maru actually sending up a Raven again.
Okay, so just a little bit of harass.
Yeah.
Trying to slow down Maru as much as he can. Now, Gumiho, this is pretty bold here by Gumiho.
Yeah.
After facing some harass early on, he's immediately going to come over here, siege up right at the lip of this expansion, and try to just get these SCVs to stop mining.
Yeah, that's quite annoying to deal with. He can deal with it. It's just going to be a little bit sloppy. 6 SCVs actually going down. That auto turret harassment is doing very, very well.
Okay, but this is a good position here for Gumiho.
Yeah.
Now, the problem when you do this is for Maru, and the thing you want to be very cautious about is that if Maru sets up and comes in here and kills off your entire army, you're losing a series of very important units that you really can't afford to lose to begin with.
And look, this is actually very hard to break because he's saving all this auto turret energy. So, like, if you do attack in, he just lays down auto turrets and you have to back up. Like,
That's
you don't
a really
want to
good
fight
point.
those straight up. They do so much damage right now. Look at that, denying so much mining as well. This is a great move by Gumiho.
Yeah, Gumiho is actually playing a very smart game here.
In this smaller technical game where it's not as macro-oriented as the last one, it seems like he's just faring a lot better, which is kind of what you think of when you think of Gumiho anyways, is these kind of technical openers with a lot of complexity in the army.
He's got a lot of really good...
Oh my God.
That was sick.
He's going to get it.
All right. Well, he does manage to take it out with that turret, but now he's spent those turrets, so I think an attack is totally appropriate to do here.
Yeah.
Stimming coming in now. Now, he'll get the tank. Can he get these air units any possible way?
Does throw down another auto turret there. So looks like Maru will try to deal with it very quickly. Actually loses a couple units to it still. So Gumiho has done a very good job with this. You know, after that initial opening by Maru that did very well with the Cyclones, from there on it's been all Gumiho.
Well, we have the Marines and tanks coming up now, headed northbound. Maru interested in trying to poke some holes in here in Gumiho's play. I do like what you were saying earlier, Toast, because you are completely right. I think out of all the Terrans we've ever seen, Gumiho has those builds that, like, you make one of these and two of these, and then you go to this corner of the map, and you set it up like this, and you will hurt them. You will cripple them. You will slow them down. And I think that's, you know, because a lot of times, especially me, I tend to talk about his late game and how good it is, but really, he's great in these openers.
Yeah, because they are like so kind of tricky. It's like, this is a weird thing to have to deal with. But hold on, Maru actually with a giant drop coming in. Gumiho doesn't have that much in his main base. Luckily, a siege tank is back there. He's a little bit slow sieging it up, and the SCVs have to be pulled.
None of the medevacs were picked off there during the drop. It's just Marines now coming in trying to defend, but they're in a bit of a line, which is allowing damage to be optimized here from Maru.
Oh, man, he is just slaughtering everything that's sent in.
This is so bad. Now, he might be able to... No, I was going to say he might be able to clean it up, but he would probably lose the game anyways.
Yeah.
GG. Back Maru.
He's good, man. That was a
Our
very
Toast
powerful
is looking
move.
up in the sky. Is that the Bat Maru symbol?
It must be, because this guy is going right to the finals. And if there was a Protoss Joker, it would be Hero. That guy's always got a smile on his face.
You don't get to decide who's good at the game, Two-Face. It's going to come down to the skill of the GSL.
Oh, man. Gumiho falling down to fight against Nightmare. His night is not done. He definitely still can get out of this group.
I think, actually, Nightmare and Gumiho is going to be a good match. I think it leans slightly towards Gumiho.
Okay.
But I could be wrong.
What about Hero Maru? What do you think about that one?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I think Maru? I think.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm leaning towards Maru as well, especially
Safer
considering
bet, I guess.
Maru could have easily watched those 11 games that Hero played against Innovation the other night, which gives you, it shows like what Hero's type of range is. He's pretty darn aggressive. He likes the early pylon rushes and glaives and stuff like that. So I feel like, yeah, Maru can take this against Hero.
We are going to go to a short break. When we come back, the winner's match to decide who will be our first survivor in tonight's GSL Code S. Stay tuned.
That would send me underneath the ground. Don't say those words. I wanna live, but your words can murder. Only you can send me under.
마음이 가는 대로 즐겁고 신나게 쓰자. 캠퍼스 시리즈.
그래서 오늘 두 분이 경쟁을 하는 거예요.
부산 전체를 돌아다니면서 저희가 7개의 시청자 여러분들 다 뿌리도록 하겠습니다. 4번이요. 도쿄, 넌 내 거야. 짜! 4번. 오케이! 정답입니다! 아, 예! 군도 좋아, 군도. 과물 뵙겠다. 가자.
저희 입수하러 갈게요, 저희는.
둘이서 쓸 수 있어. 귀엽지 않아요? 여러분? 오. 된다. 된다. 안녕. 붕어빵 사세요. 이거를 한번 볼까? 지금 나 혼자 신난 거니 혹시? 이거 귀엽다. 찍어도 되나? 진짜 예쁘다 근데.
댄스 도와의 결승 무대를 시작하겠습니다.
그런 의미를 담은 그 댄스 퍼포먼스
이 무대를 마음껏 즐기시는 모습을
계속 춤추셨으면 좋겠어요. 꼭. 네.
1등은요 축하합니다 2SC
축하드립니다.
와우.
부산지도 아닙니까 이거?
와, 7군데를 다 돌 거예요. 1번부터 7번까지.
네.
취득을 해서 시청자분들한테 나눠줄 수 있어요.
아, 자갈시장 도쿄. 도착했어요. 자갈시장. 오우, 자 나오세요. 자 가면서 나오시고 2시간. 야, 이겼다. 이번에 이겼어. 콜 한번 거서. 바깥으로 나가야 될 것 같은데 일단. 클래스 있다면 4번. 아, 좋아요. 타이페이죠, 타이페이. 광안리. 괌이다. 괌. 야, 이건 크다. 부산 분들 위주로 좀 드리면 될 것 같아요, 내장. 오.
그런데 스노우의 밤에는 가장 좋은 기능 중에 하나가 실시간으로 적용되는 아이템. 라마띠. 스노우의 기능이 어마무시하죠, 진짜로? 원반입니다. 라마띠. 저한테 채팅으로 본.
Welcome back to the GSL Code S. I feel like we've been moving at a really fast rate today. Let me actually check my phone.
Yeah.
No, I guess I feel like the games have been really fast, but no, we're actually we're like right on schedule here.
Couple 2-0s.
Yeah.
So in that regard, I guess, and I mean, definitely Batmaru is about as fast a pro gamer as you can get, Tasteless, but I don't know if that speeds up time.
That's a good point.
I don't think that's on his bat belt.
What happens is when Batmaru is fighting, time slows down for him.
Yeah.
And it seems fast to everybody else.
All right,
well, this is going to be Maru versus Hero.
That should be a very good match coming up. Of course, again, Hero just the other night played 11 games against Innovation on the Korean stream.
And even though it didn't go as well as he wanted it to, that's good practice.
Definitely, definitely. But with 11 games, a 5-6 record overall, you really see a lot of his strengths and a lot of his weaknesses. And I would say the dangerous thing about Heroes Protoss vs. Terran right now is this range of aggression that he has. Like, he, not quite half the time, but near it, goes for an early mothership core to pylon rush your entrance, right? And screws you up. Sometimes he'll do it with a Zealot to make sure he gets a cancel your command center. Sometimes he'll just do it to make sure he gets your reactor and stuff. So that is a scary thing that Maru has to be ready for.
First map's going to be Echo, then Daybreak, and finally Whirlwind. It's a best of 3, so even though I'd say Maru's the favorite, Hero is a very crafty Protoss player.
Yeah, he is.
He's definitely enough tricks up his sleeve. Anybody, especially at PBT, you could definitely pull off some crazy stuff that maybe upset.
Yeah, no, he definitely has all the crazy things in his pocket. Let's see, the ultimate villain against the ultimate superhero.
This might actually be the real Batman versus Superman, as far as I'm concerned.
Nice switch on the names down there. And
all right, so this is actually GSL, the face-off edition, where Maru is wearing Hero's face.